Amy Barlow, Ella Mulvaney, finds herself at odds with her mother, Tracy Barlow, Kate Ford, in Coronation Street this week as she is left disgusted by Tracy's apparent delight in Cassie Plummer's, Claire Sweeney, suffering. While Tracy remains bitter and vengeful, Amy is far more sympathetic toward Cassie, who has been abandoned by her loved ones after her shocking betrayal of Ken Barlow, William Roach, came to light. Cassie has been struggling ever since her crime was exposed. Having drugged Ken Barlow in a desperate bid to get money, she quickly found herself with nowhere to turn. Her son Tyrone Dobbs, Alan Halsall, and his family have disowned her, unwilling to trust her after yet another betrayal. With no home, no money, and no support, Cassie was forced to spend the night in the Ginnel last week, an all too familiar low point for the recovering addict. Fans of the ITV soap watched as she struggled to survive, her situation becoming increasingly dire as she ran out of options. On Monday, Tracy is thrilled to hear about Cassie's unfortunate circumstances, reveling in the knowledge that she had been forced to sleep outside. Amy, overhearing her mother gloating, is horrified by her lack of compassion. But what Amy doesn't yet realize is that Tracy is directly responsible for Cassie's current predicament. Although Ken has chosen not to press charges against Cassie, Tracy had no intention of letting her get off so easily. Determined to take matters into her own hands, she devised a cruel scheme to push Cassie further toward rock bottom. Under the false pretense of wanting to talk things out, Tracy lured Cassie to No. 1 Coronation Street with an invitation to lunch. Instead of reconciliation, Tracy offered Cassie a bag of drugs, fully aware of her history with addiction. The malicious act was designed to test Cassie's willpower, or, more likely, to push her into self-destruction. With Cassie already in a vulnerable state, this act of cruelty only deepened her despair. Unbeknownst to Amy, her mother played a direct role in Cassie's relapse, making her suffering even worse. As the week unfolds, Cassie's situation deteriorates further. Struggling with the temptation of drugs, she finds herself in a precarious position when she is caught red-handed by Roy Cropper, David Nielsen, attempting to buy drugs from a dealer at the precinct. Roy, ever the compassionate soul, is deeply disappointed but not surprised by Cassie's actions. Unlike Tracy, he does not revel in her downfall, but instead sees it as a tragic indication of how lost she has become. Cassie, humiliated and ashamed, faces the reality that she may have burned every bridge in Weatherfield. Just when it seems that Cassie has nowhere left to turn, her mother, Evelyn Plummer Maureen Lipman, makes her long-awaited return to Weatherfield. Having spent time away from the street, Evelyn comes back just in time to witness her daughter's latest downward spiral. Despite their turbulent relationship, Evelyn has always been one of the few people who truly understands Cassie. Unlike Tracy, whose actions stem from a desire for revenge, Evelyn is determined to help her daughter break free from the cycle of addiction and self-destruction. But with Cassie at her lowest, will she accept her mother's help? Or is she too far gone to be saved? As Amy watches her mother take pleasure in Cassie's suffering, she finds herself questioning Tracy's morality. Amy has always been aware of her mother's ruthless streak, but this time, it feels different. Cassie may have made mistakes, but Amy believes that everyone deserves a chance at redemption. If Amy discovers that Tracy actively pushed Cassie toward relapse, it could create an irreparable rift between them. Will Amy stand up to her mother and expose her cruel actions? Or will Tracy manage to keep her secret hidden? As Cassie's struggles intensify, her fate hangs in the balance. With Evelyn back in town and Amy growing increasingly suspicious of Tracy, the drama is far from over. Will Cassie accept the help she so desperately needs, or will Tracy's cruelty push her over the edge? One thing is certain. Weatherfield is in for yet another explosive showdown, and the fallout will be felt by everyone involved.